Talk Shoes.
Recorded live.
My life. Family lunch. I told you how we discuss it. How we share. Double love. Full respect. Marital talk. Let me try to understand. Let me try. Let me try this. My life is all I have. My mind. And I made it through the struggle. Don't judge me. Sit down. Won't watch me. Where I come from. So often. People you grow up with a lady in the office. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now. My world. My life. My life. Big storm. Life. Loaded guns. Telling my lawyers to get the case on. I need the bill that the president's got the case on. So I can switch my residence. Get the fucking elect. Check. I no longer have to wait for. I made a couple ends. Lost a couple friends. I light it up because never was a struggle man. So you can judge it. But you ain't got it. You ain't in the road. So you really can't touch it. You wanna love it. For the fact that it's my world and my life, and still I'm a rugged. They say you bugging, and I'm a thuggin'. You fucking fool and kick it with a nubbin. I got a bigger bed and I need it covered. And I ain't got friends, I got enemies. So if they with me, then that means they my brother. My life is all I have. My mind, my head, my head. And I done made it through the struggle, don't judge me. What you say now, won't judge me. Where I come from, so often. Before you grew up with a lady in the coffin. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now, my world, my life, my life. To the head, prayer for the dead. Run around hustling, scared of the bed. They say, death is eternal sleep. But the only thing is you ain't really sure if you prepare for the bed. So often we get hurt in the head instead of big money. They got big mama hurt instead. My life is taking a verse, but the handcuffs, the bullpen, the jail covers making it worse. Tell mommy I don't go to the church. Tell Hawk I don't go to the mosque. I blow soul guns and I'ma read right there when the soldiers are marched. Play my part and my heart stays colder than Mars. But on the flip side of things, it's still warmer than June. I have talks with the Lord and I'll be balling with soul. And my life is all I had. My family, my soul, my last one. My life is all I have. My mind, my head, my head. And I done made it through the struggle, don't judge me. But you say now, won't touch me. That's where I come from. So often, before you grew up with a lady in the coffin. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now, my world, my life, my life, my life, all I have. My mind, my head, my head. And I done made it through the struggle, don't judge me. But you say now, won't touch me. That's where I come from. So often, before you grew up with a lady in the coffin. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now, my world, my life, my life. My life. My life. My life.
Brother asked last night, what made me do it, I think I was up.
don't give a fuck. You wonder why we feel like you wonder why we ride. You wonder why we burn. We don't give a fuck. Cause you right, right down your seat, fuck probation, shit down your feet, run the road, flash your seat, fuck with CP, feel the CD, kiss my black hand, tell the judges, hang the lawyers, ride for justice, keep your case up, kill the sentence, get rid of the middleman, control your business. You wonder why we ride. You wonder why we burn. We don't give a fuck. You wonder why we feel like you wonder why we ride. You wonder why we burn. We don't give a fuck. Let's go, let's go. And you too, babe. This is Uncle Tom, Commander-in-Chief of your Black Freedom Fighters in North America, bringing you the latest news from your fighting black underground. Hang on, brothers and sisters. Liberation is near. I dedicate this program to the National Guard, but with fresh out hillbilly music. And according to the press and television, the Guard spends all its time playing basketball with the kids and helping old ladies cross the street. But we know better, don't we? We know about that 14-year-old girl that Junior Heavy Guardsman shot last night in a flame in a black business place store, don't we? It's almost time. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are told that you cannot reform. The question is asked, can you reform ever? Which automatically instigate the
Brother asked last night what they should. I think I'm talking to the knowledge base by the number of us that serve in the flag. Y'all know that flag has never represented us or our freedom. So at this time, like the pastor would ask you to do, I'm going to ask you all to stand. Put your black towel and fist in the air. If any of you want the lyrics to the song or want the song, have a seat back there and want to come picture, I will give it to you. So that's brother said it's something that we should have at our meeting. So Black Power family. Black Power. Oh, as you be, I take you for the night, and let our people be kind. Who's crushed and my soul, the prison of the sun, is thinking of.
Black Power, B48, my whole chat. Welcome to Feet on the Ground Radio. It's your brother Born. Think Tank Thursday. We'll come in here with the, get a blessings to the ancestors, praise and eternal glory to God, long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, praise Harriet Tubman, glory to Ida B. Wiles, and long live the spirit of Sister Fannie Lou Hamer. All right, come folks, what's going on out there, man? We're going to get it in tonight. We got I got a little hot topic. I'm going to play a little audio from a young brother out of Georgia that's dealing with the subject tonight. And the subject tonight is whether or not we are taking on the wrong title or not really understanding our situation here, and not understanding it is keeping us from being able to get free. So the topic is whether or not we will furthermore be calling ourselves prisoners of war, or whether or not we were slaves. And so, they got two different contexts of prisoners of war, or whether or not, and when I say prisoners of war, I would more like to say unjust war, so we're more like kidnapped victims who's kidnapped, you know what I mean? So whether we be kidnapped victims or we would take on like that moniker of slave, and how we want to deal with that in this day and time, 2015, and using our language in order to fight this, to help build our mental fortitude for this revolution. So we got to understand that language is a medium of any type of war. And so when we're using that medium, I mean, we want to make sure that we deal with it with the exact science that causes the people to question exactly what's going on. So, you know, with that being said, though, you know, that's what tonight's show is going to be about. It's going to be about whether or not we POWs or slaves. So, let me open up my chat room. See what I got going on in the chat room. So we got a couple things going on, and really the hit to the topic is what's happening out there in what they call P.O.W.S State University, which is out in Georgia. Yeah, you know, it's out there in Georgia, and you know, there's a little hotbed of controversy. We had a couple things going on, and you know, it really got pushed to the forefront because of something that you know, a cracker did. You might not know, it was some cracker named Michelle Manahan or some shit like that, right? What was going on out in P.O.W.S State for the past couple of weeks, the young RBGs out there, the young soldiers and warriors, been having the beast flag on the ground, stomping on it, taking Bibles, stomping on them, ripping them up, kicking them up and down, kicking them up and down the walkway and everything, in order for you know, as just a show to the rest of the family out there that you don't have to be afraid of these people. That at the end of the day, we dealing in a colonized situation, so we don't have to respect them in the mannerism that they try to tell us that we have to respect them. You know, you know, in a strong show in this day and time, a very strong show, if you're willing to come out at a state university, take their flag, and just have people walk upon it, you know, in the mannerism that Negroes fear the Caucasian now. You know, it was a strong show, especially from some young college brothers. Good show, because that's where the strength comes from the young family. So, family been out there, like I said, for a couple weeks doing this thing. So a cave dwelling woman, cave dwelling broad, cave brother, she comes to the protest, decides that she will snatch the flag up and rescue it from these heathen black people for you know, desecrating the flag, and she's giving all type of reason and why she gonna steal it and whatever. She ended up getting arrested though. What happens is because she's stealing. They got a right to do whatever they want to their flag. So she was stealing, so she got caught stealing the flag. What happens is though, because of the brother, the brother has already been on, you know, he just been on fire at the campus. So, after this, he was really being looked at harder, because what happens is that the what they call conservative crackers, you know, the real hillbilly, redneck, gung-ho American Legion crackers, got angry by the brother's rhetoric. And so it's been like a social media onslaught of negative press and pressure for the brother. So, in the last day, what has happened is they gone into the library where he was not there, found a bag, and said that the bag included a gun that they know belonged to him. They're saying because of his statement that white folks should be murdered, police should be killed, and things of that nature, that he's armed, he should be considered armed and dangerous threat. You know, they're setting up the context for the brother to be murdered. Because if a brother could be murdered with no weapon, hands behind his back, handcuffed in the back of a police car, if you could be dangerous with, like I said, you could be dangerous with your handcuff in the police car, already cuffed behind your back, be dangerous enough to be shot. Imagine the mind state of the people looking for somebody who they surmise has on their mind that you should go down like you would be willing to put them down. So with that being said, though, you know, now they got an all-out, you know, like an all-points bulletin. They looking for the brother hard. We don't wish any harm to our young brothers, so you know you out there in the wind, stay in the wind. Like Marcus Garvey be in the whirlwind. They got his father out right now on television asking them, please, turn yourself into me or the proper authorities. Like I said, they trying to charge him for a weapon that allegedly belongs to him. So that's what's going on right now out here in the world. But you know, in that whole situation, though, some of the things that the brother said really played towards a conversation that I had earlier, or several, about 2 weeks ago, just on that thought of whether or not we were slaves or prisoners of war, and also over the weekend when I went to the Dr. Ben Memorial, the brother Uncle Cat reminded me of this conversation also on how we define ourselves on prisoners of war and slaves. So, toward that, man, I decided to bring that topic into the think tank and see what family had to say about this topic right here. Check it. See who I got out there. Black Power, what's going on, fella? I see the family, they coming in, they trickling in. They trickling in right now. I don't know what they do out there. Hopefully everything is all right. Shit was all right. We live over here. Let me see. And I'm going to put that build on by the young brother. I guess I'll throw that clip in right now. You know. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to play this clip from the young brother and let the people listen to this real fast. See here. All right, got that. Shoot that up. Put that on Q. All right. Put the rest of this stuff together. Let me see here. All right. All right, we good now. Let me chew everything up so we can get this joint rocking and get everything good to go. Brother Little, that's you out there. I just want to get a mic check so I can make sure that I'm being heard clear. My power is my mic clear. No, you clear. All right, no doubt. I just want. All right then. Well, look, I'm gonna throw this clip in real fast. It's me and you, brother Cause, man. You know. Throw this in real fast, and this is the brother Big Shepherd.
All right. And thereafter, up until 1865, you released them from chattel slavery, but put them into another form of slavery immediately, which was the prison system, the convict system. You see what I'm saying? So now we have not only inherited physical slavery, but we've also inherited spiritual slavery under the form of people were asking, why do you have the Bible on the ground? How do you think we're spiritually enslaved? With that Christianity, that white Jesus that the slave master has put on the African mind.
But it doesn't say that Jesus was white.
Yeah, I know that.
White people are Christianity.
Revelation 21:13. No, you know that disproves.
I'm sorry,
y'all can come in and listen if y'all are going to be quiet and not try to interject while I'm speaking to them. But You know that Revelation 21:13 says that he had hair like wool, chips, and skin like bronze. Now, first of all, it doesn't matter what is said in the Bible, but what is put forth and what is perpetuated. The interpretation is perpetuated. The interpretation that was perpetuated was that Jesus was white. Okay, so what do you do psychologically? The psychosis of religion is that people always put themselves in the image of their Savior, their God, so they see that they are one with God and they act as God and they do. They feel God wants to happen for them. God is simply selfish. Everybody gets the flesh except for the African who was being colonized by the Europeans. So what you do to the African when you get them a white Jesus is you're saying, I'm the closest related to God, therefore you defer to me. That subconscious white supremacy that you see in the African mind that African people don't seem to see. They praise white Jesus, but they praise the black Jesus. And they actually start to read the revolutionary text that was actually still installed in the European Bible. You'll see that Jesus wasn't all docile and neutral or loving. He was flipping tables and clearing temples out with wolves. You see, when people were doing wicked things. So when you start to embody that revolutionary spirit, as Christ did, was he not a revolutionary in the Bible? So people are saying we need to be Christians. Do you really know what it means to be a Christian? It means not to conform to the social order. Was this a conformity to the social order, what I did? Not at all. So who's God right now? Who's truly acting in a Christ consciousness? Not you all. Not them, but us. Us who act in the Christ consciousness, we embody what it means to be a Christ being, a Christ field, a Christ vessel. You see what I'm saying? So the meaning, I want y'all focus on me. I know what she's saying. The meaning for the stepping on the flag was that flag represents white supremacy, racism, which is plaguing the entire earth. So when we step on that flag, we're stepping on racism, white supremacy, we're stepping on those things. That means that we're erected alongside our genocide and our Holocaust. We're stepping where we're releasing those chains from our mental capacity and from our physical.
Okay, so you're not spitting on people who are serving. You're not spitting on the people who are serving overseas at all. Spitting on the idea of that.
That makes sense.
That's why I came in at.
Right, and I'm glad you all came in and asked because I'm sure the white media put it forth that I am a terrorist, and indeed I am. I'm a terrorist towards lies. I'm a terrorist towards liars. I'm a terrorist towards those who are wicked. So yes, I am a terrorist towards white people. So it needs to be understood, and what I was just saying to her, what I'm saying to you all is a warning of death that is coming upon this nation if y'all don't turn from y'all's ways. And this is the collective white race, but not just here in America, globally, all Europeans, you're not even indigenous here. In every nation or every region of the planet Earth that you're in, you are an invader. Go back historically, the British invaded damn near half of the world. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And other Europeans have invaded other regions of the world. But every time you've gone in, what have you done? You have done nothing but destroy. We were, and mind you, again, historically, one thing that most people don't know, it was Africans who brought civilization to Europe. White. Once of the Egyptians were bringing in the Greeks and the Romans, and then the second time under the Black Moors who were bringing in and establishing the elaboration of civilization. So that's why we step on that flag, because that flag represents lies, it represents deceit, it represents the glory of white people that they like to put forth against pain. You can see the psychosis of Europeans where they value the medial things and not the grander things. Where are we at? We're in Philadelphia, Georgia, right? Andrew Johnson's death was covered up. So you care more about a fall from the ground and stepping on it with a boot than a black man's death. You're out your fucking mind. White people have been out your fucking mind ever since they stepped out of Europe. So that's what it is.
Black power. All right, power. I'd like to give her say to the young brother. She said the sound was bad on the clip. That's my bad, Queen. That's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna take the clip. So I'm gonna take the clip and I'm gonna put the clip. Oh God. All right. I'm gonna put it inside here real quick. I'm gonna put it in the chat room for you. There you go. So there you go. There, catch up on the clip. Brother Cords, you heard a little bit of what the brother was saying?
Yeah.
All right.
B48.
B48. Yeah, man. What they do out there today, man? You know, like I said, man, I was just putting this out because I wanted to see what our people was thinking. You know what I mean? And you know, the brother just he summarized our situation here very, very well. You know what I mean? Articulated it very well, very respectably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely did.
Yeah. He's been working on that. You feel me? And he's standing there with, I don't know what kind of mask. He got a little African mask on. He got some juju with him. He got a juju with him and everything. No, he don't. You know, he got some juju in his pocket. Make sure the man stay off of him. But like I said, right now they hunting him all points, bulleting, you know, for the young brother. You see him right now, they snatching any brother with a beard on. Any brother with a beard is a suspect right now. You know what I mean? So, y'all there in Georgia, be careful. But how you see this thing, brother Carl? How you see this thing when we talk about slavery and prisoner of war and things of that nature? How you see that? How you see the situation when we first got snatched up?
You know what? I've been looking at it from right now. You know, in respect to how we got here, a lot of our people don't really want to believe it. You know, it's hard to accept it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the cracker really just, I personally think that he's at the point where he wants us to get the big picture. And we still don't want to believe it, you know what I mean? And that is that, you know, this shit's about to come to a head, man. Personally, being a POW means that you got one fight left, and that's to get out of captivity. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so, you know, I was talking to my mother the other day. And she was a correctional officer, and one of the things she was talking about was how, although she worked there, she had a revolutionary mind state in terms of like knowing how important it is for her to be a black woman in that situation, and be an assistant versus somebody who's detrimental to the brothers inside, right? And so one of the things she said was like, yo, she said eventually she had to get the fuck out of the state, you know. You got to separate yourself from that relationship you got with the cracker in order to even have a mind state of being free. You get what I'm saying? And so, you know, she said the genocide is more like a civil war at this point, and some people or most people don't want to play active participant role in it when it comes down to what's going on in the street is murder. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are really wanting to deal with that reality. It's beyond being able to march or have meetings about, you know, solutions to how can we prevent black people from getting shot. And all, you know, it's beyond all of that. It's been way beyond that for some time. So, you know, I think the reality check is an ongoing thing for most of our people. In terms of accepting the fact that white people simply aren't their, they're not their family, man. They're not their friends. They have no interest in you becoming what, you know, getting to your full potential. You know what I'm saying? With respect to our people not having to have their influence at all in their lives. You know what I mean? And so no different than a cracker go to the grocery store and don't have to worry about seeing a nigga. You know, a nigga shouldn't have to be concerned about going nowhere and seeing a cracker. Shit, as far as I'm concerned. And so that's something we should be aiming for. Is some more separation, some strong decisions that might, you know, you're gonna have to relocate in some instances, because the truth of the matter is, you know, the cities is just like it's like deer hunting season. I'm in the South, so in the morning you hear hounds. You hear nothing but rifles and guns going off because it's hunting season. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing in the cities for our people. And I think that's what's making it easy to videotape it. And, you know, this shit is almost like, what's that called when they kill people on live camera and shit? Snuff. You know what I'm saying? You videotaping people getting murdered.
Yeah, this is. I've said that before, that this is America, a land of the police snuff film. But all in all, see, this is one of the things that one of the reasons why I want to have this conversation is so we can define exactly what this is. Because once you define it, properly, see, however it is defined is the context that you take it. So when we looking at ourselves as slaves, are we refer to ourselves as slaves and former slaves and over, and like we would like that puts us in a state where we stay low, where we not understand we were forced until we were created slaves, but we are actually prisoners of unjust war and kidnap victims. You know what I'm saying? We've been kidnapped and bred into being docile. And see, that's what I would say. We were bred into being docile, because I could never say that we were actually real slaves proper, because they still, all the way up until, they still had to have slave patrol. They still had to make sure that they had the whip, the chain on us, because we knew that was not our position to be in. We knew that we were captive, not someone who was supposed to be perpetually placed in servitude. We understood that. So that's the reason for the police. That was the reason for the chains and things of that nature. So people always say, like, that's what when I said, when people speak and they said, well, they caught slaves. And I said, well, you don't got to put slaves. You ain't got to have them all tied together, locked down. They slaves. They already under control. They docile. They what you want them to be. They doing what you want them to do. Prisoners, you got to chain them down. You got to hold on to a prisoner. Kidnap victims, you got to chain them down, lock them down as best way as possible, because if not, they get a chance they're going to get free. Now, after 400 years, I'm saying, and to me, it has taken us 400 years to accept the title of slavery. Because once and we accepted that by not wanting to be free. By not wanting to be free. That's when we accepted the title. Once they took the chains off, we didn't stay, look, man, I want to be separate. I'm going to stay separated. That shows you that you want your own freedom, that you like freedom. Once we accept it, integrating, that's when we accept it.
Brother Boy, I want to say, number one, peace to you, hotep to you, Brother Boy. This Brother Armin. I want to say peace to you, brother. I agree with you, but I want to go a little further with this.
Go ahead, family. And go ahead. Add on.
Yes, we were domesticated. That's why the segregation thing took place, and it really destroyed us, and we still don't understand what took place. But to go either, as I said, to go from us being kidnapped victims, because you eloquently put that together, and that was very eloquent. Yes, we were kidnapped victims. After a while, as they bringing people from South America, and at some point they start bringing people directly from the continent of Africa to the Americas. That was a rarity, but it did happen. So you had some of us that were still holding on to what we had in Africa, but then you had the people that was, born and raised here. It'd be, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that African stuff. If you look at Roots, when Kunta Kinte talking about I'm in Dinka, you hear all of the slaves saying that they were slaves. He wasn't, but they were slaves. You hear me? I don't want to hear that African foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear that African foolishness. And he's telling them, nah, man, I'm in Dinka. He knew what it was to be free. So after a while, our people didn't know what it meant. Like right now, we live 400 years, 500 years in this country. Our people keep saying freedom. If we sit 100 people down in one room and ask them what freedom is, they will all have a different way of thinking.
No doubt. I would agree that we have such a mangled thought of what freedom is because we, like you said, we have not enjoyed freedom. We have enjoyed the illusion of what it is to be free. So, and when you have people who are under illusion, it's hard to get them. It's hard to get people under illusion free. That's why we have to deal with concrete reality when we're dealing with each other. That's why, the clip that we played earlier, the young brother was so important because the young brother was speaking the ultimate reality of what's going on. That, we have to look at these things as a flag. You have to look at the Bible as a spiritual chain. You have to look at it like that because of the mannerism that it was given to us and how it allowed us to be domesticated. It allowed us to okay that which is not okay. It allowed us it allowed us to be murdered and to not look for any type of justice, but to lay our way on that which was mystery. That was the slave master knew did not exist. You know what I'm saying? He knew what did not. He knew that the teaching that he was given, that God that he did not believe in, it did not exist to him. So he was not worried about that, but he knew that it exists to us.
Exactly, like a prime example of with the situation is, we think we can just pray our way out of stuff. All things are practical. Like anything you're going to do in this universe, because everything is all based on the universal laws and universal principles. Gravity, if you hold your breath, you will pass the hell out. These are all practical things, cause and effect things. But for some apparent reason, with our freedom, we think that we're going to pray our way out of this. Like, this is what's going to go on. We're going to pray our way out of this. Brother born out with, I'm not going to say the brother's name, but who I'm speaking about in the UK, that I always keep saying, like, whenever you're trying to take this on, I'll prove to you everything of what you are saying come out of Zoroastrianism.
Yeah, and when you say pray up out of things, see, we as Africans have been taught that prayer works. See, when you see the preacher and the pastor, he looking good. You see the Caucasian, the Tamil, he living good. He had God first. He had the God that he gave you. He had him before you. And he gives you the thought that he is practicing the worship of that God harder than you, and that his prayers is going up and God is granting his prayers because he is more in line with what God wants than you are. He's doing the deed more. And what we see as the African, we can see what we can see is we see the fruits of the labor. We looking like
but we don't see what's going on in the back door.
No, that's what I'm saying. See, we don't know what's going on in the back door, but all we see the fruits of the labor. We see the preacher with the big car. We see the people who say that they're the highest up with God. We see them with all those things that we wish to have, and they're telling us that they got them through prayer. And so we believe that because we have the African has a spirit. And in our spirit, we know that some things that are unseen can be manifested. And because we know that inherently, we believe other people when they saying that they're getting things from unseen things manifested into reality. We believe them. We believe that their unseen willpower is making what they're getting manifest. We believe that because we know that your unseen willpower can help you manifest things in reality. But like you said, we're not seeing the back door.
Yeah,
we're not seeing our labor being used.
You know why Africa is poor and we see these commercials on TV all the time, and we all grew up watching these commercials. Give us 18 cents a day and all of this stuff. They're not telling you that they are raping and pillaging the land. That's why they are poor. If they got the hell out of the land, they wouldn't be poor.
Exactly. Now
they got the hell out of the land.
That's the same thing in South Africa. In South Africa, where they moved the Africans off of fertile land and moved them into the dump areas. You know, and then when you look at the people, you say, "Daggone, why are the people so poor? Why would they live in an area like this?" It's not because this is what they chose. This is what they were forced into. You understand? And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about people who are not slaves. We're talking about people who are kidnapped victims, prisoners of war, prisoners of undue war. Even living in what would they would call their own countries, they still prisoners of war. They captive in their own country and are captive to what somebody else culture is.
I want to ask you this, Brother Boy, because I put this out.
Hold on, just breaking up. Hold on, your joint breaking up.
Can you hear me? I want to ask you this. I put this out. I love Africa and all of that. I'm an African and all of that. But I put this out in the hangout saying, listen, us as African Americans, what we got to do so we can get power, we got to actually sue Africa, not the whole continent of Africa, but the people who actually took part in the slave trade and admitted to their role, we got to sue them so we can go at the Europeans.
Just hold on. I think I heard what you said, that we should sue the Africans first, be good after the Europeans. We want to sue the Africans for, but you know, this is something else I'm dealing with. So what would we sue them for?
At this point, like I said, what we would sue them for, as I said, we must look at it in the terms of it's just a piece of the just another move that's being made. So
now listen what I'm saying. I'm saying what exactly is the
money
crime?
Part, we won't sue them for money because their money not worth anything. So
no. I'm not saying to get money. Listen what I'm saying. Brother. I'm saying this. What is the crime that they committed that we are suing for?
The crime would be is they played a role in the slave trade. So if we can't sue them, if we would say, you know what, we can't sue them, we should never talk about reparations ever in life.
Listen, I'm not discrediting what you're saying. I'm just trying to get a legal premise for what you're saying. Because I'm saying legally,
conspirators.
No, listen, all right, now this is what I'm saying though, but you saying they were conspirators in slavery, right?
Yes.
This is the reason why I was talking about not using the term slavery any longer. Because you understand that when they were participants in slavery, slavery was legal. So when they participated, slavery was legal. So it's not a crime, wasn't no crime committed. Now we can say it was a crime against humanity, but when we look at it and we format it and we want to say that we want to punish a person for a crime, you can't punish people for things that are legal.
At this time, it wasn't a such thing as chattel slavery. So what you are saying, that was not legal. It was no such thing in Africa of chattel slavery.
No, I'm not saying that it was no such thing as chattel slavery. What I'm saying is that chattel slavery existed. That Pope Nicholas made chattel slavery legal up under anything that was Euro dominated, right? What I'm saying, what was illegal was kidnapping. That's illegal.
No, that doesn't matter. The Holocaust was legal. It's a crime against humanity, bro, and it's acknowledged across the world. Africans participated in that crime. So legal or not,
the Holocaust wasn't legal though. The Holocaust, they didn't. When was the Holocaust? When was the Holocaust made legal, or any precedence for it to have some legal precedence in the court?
Yeah. It was German law.
It was legal. It was legal actually.
Yeah, that's German law.
It was legal under what? Under German law, right? It was not now. When I said that slavery was legal, slavery wasn't legal just only in Europe. Slavery was legal worldwide per the Pope Nicholas. It was worldwide slavery was made legal.
Chattel slavery wasn't legal in Africa. Chattel slavery wasn't legal in Africa.
Huh?
No one had a system of chattel slavery in Africa. You know who did? And this is what these dudes that call themselves the Moors, they had a system that was based on chattel slavery. So we could say Northeast Africa, they had a system of chattel slavery or what have you, but widespread, chattel slavery wasn't legal in Africa.
It was even when slavery was outlawed in European countries, it continued. Slavery was outlawed, and it's still continuing.
Yeah, no, now that's what I was saying about suing the African nations. All I'm saying is that if you wanted to sue the African nations, I was just saying because at the time the African nations that were involved in the slavery, all I'm saying is that it was legal during their time. I'm just dealing with the language that I know a prisoner of war, which I wasn't, a kidnapped victim. I was never a slave. My people wasn't never slaves. They were turned into that over time, but we was kidnapped.
Yeah, that's political, though. I mean, we're talking about a legal battle that goes to the United Nations. You're not going to use that. You're going to say, yeah, I was a slave. When you go to the United Nations and you're suing out, you're saying you sold me and you was a co-conspirator in one of the worst crimes against people in history. So that's the legal battle.
Not
and
only
people
that,
in African nations have, hold on, bro. In African nations, they've already conceded.
Sure, indeed. They said that they played a part. I'm not saying that they didn't.
So you got to think. You got to think about the strategic.
Exactly.
The strategic move, and also the things that follow after that. Because one of the big reasons that people don't know, the Trump card in white people's pocket has always been your own people sold you. And everyone knows this. Black people deny it, but that's what's on record. Hold on, bro. Let me tell you why. I know what you're going to say, but let me just finish.
No, I just want you to get some dates. No, I just want you to, when you say that to the people listening, and you say that, I just want you to make sure that you tell them what people and how, because they'll take that and run with it the wrong way.
Right, we'll get into that soon. Let me just finish what I'm saying. We'll get into that. So, the problem black people have with all things is they don't approach things equally from all directions. Now, once you go and sue the Africans for their part in history, now you open the door because everybody's going to admit it. So now, the Europeans going to get happy about that. He's going to be like, yeah, that's what you need to go for. They're going to back you, and you're going to win that case, believe that. But then when that's over, you're going to say, oh, now it's your turn. Now everybody's going to have to fess up, because if you back me on the African thing, now you got to deal with what your part was in it. And I'm going to tell you what, it'll be a trickle-down effect. But until we go after the African, they're going to keep that in their back pocket. It's just like, for instance, right, when a black person gets shot, black people.
Hold on, don't go too far, Lex. No, don't go too far. I don't want, because it's a point that you made about Africans selling each other and stuff like that.
Let me expound.
I want to make sure that the people is clear about Africans selling each other, how this thing went down, like it wasn't no thing where we was out. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I just want to say, it wasn't no thing where Africans was out advertising. We got slaves. Europeans come down here, get slaves, and take them to America. Wasn't no shit like that going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was servitude, not slavery. Servitude is different from the slavery that they put us in.
Don't get emotional about your
I'm not going for that.
Listen, y'all get emotional.
Wait 1 second. The queen's talking. Hold on. Pause yourself.
She's about to
I hear the sister one. Hold on 1 second. I hear the sister one come in. I hear the sister. Everybody, the mics is open. So I want everybody to be able to speak, but I want to make sure that we're just not talking over each other just like that. So the sister was coming in, and she had something to say. Go ahead, sister.
I said it was servitude, not slavery. The slavery, the servitude that was in Africa, what was going on in Africa was different than how we was being treated over here. The people over there, we didn't have a word for slavery in the African language. It was servitude.
Right, but that's not what we're talking about.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you something. I got a problem with it. That's that conquer and divide stuff. I'm trying to get back with good, within good with Africa, not sue Africa. How you gonna sue Africa? They getting it from everywhere. That's that bull crap. I ain't trying to hear nothing about suing no Africa, man. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that.
All right, but
that's emotional.
The people who are trying to hear it already established immediately is a difference between chattel slavery and servitude. I already established that, so what you said was a mute point because
No. See, what the sister
already established that.
Listen. What the sister was saying is that, like, when Brother Lex was speaking, there is different times going on, and we have people who don't know what was what and when things were going on. So when we say that Africans played a part in selling black people into slavery, we have to be specific about what areas, what tribes, when did these things start happening. Because hold on.
Nigeria, Ghana, these people played a role in it.
Man, they all played
a role. It's different tribes. No, listen, right? It was different tribes.
Ghana is offering land to us.
Listen,
it's different tribes.
Boy, can I say this real quick? What we're having here, now, see, this is where people, when I say emotion, see, y'all, we're not attacking Africa like that, but for your love of Africa, it's blinding you to the political strategy and the due that they have to pay still. It's not like, we're against Africa, but they played a part in it where, no, it wasn't like...
I don't have no problem with that, Lex.
We're going to write for the that's already being raped. We're going to go right for they being raped already.
No, hold on, sister, listen.
They put themselves in a situation to be raped. They did what they did.
Now, I'm going to mute your mic. I got to mute your mic so y'all can hold on 1 second. Just hold on. I'm saying this. I don't mind the conversation, but I want to hear the conversation all the way out. Because, see, just because we listening, I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to disagree, but I'm just going to listen to them all the way out, sister. You hear me? Just going to listen. Don't mean that we're going to go with it or not go with it. I want to hear the whole thing, but I wanted to, like I was saying about the slavery, that's all I was wanting to say. For people who are listening, to be clear when brothers say that, look, Africans sold slaves. There's periods and times when this stuff started, people who trickulated in. So we just want to put a good scope on it.
I'm done, Faz.
All right. What I'm trying to do, if I get the opportunity to, is, as I said, I laid out it earlier.
I'm sorry, I ejected you in 202. I hit eject on.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, Brother Little. Brother Little, I can hear you in the background.
Yo,
my bad.
All right.
What I was trying to do is lay out what the sister said. I think that's a very vital point of what you just brought up and the sister brought up first. That, I laid it out immediately. Chattel slavery and servitude, these are two different things. Two different things.
What's the First Nation, right? If we were to sue a tribe, there, right? And we would look into the history and say, listen, you know what? We want to specify somebody who had their most hands on and this, that, and the third. Because these things have to be specific. Now, who would we specify?
Yeah.
You answered me a question, right? And I answered it because I never get the answer, the opportunity to fully lay out what I'm saying. So it don't be no confusion. Because as I said, it's some type of confusion, which it shouldn't be. She talking about what happened over here, and I'm not calling the sister out or none of that, but I laid it already out clear. But if I was able to actually be able to get more descriptive, then I don't have to be long-winded because it's very simple. Number one, our thing is, chattel slavery, yes, the European did chattel slavery in the Arabs. Yes, we know this. We had servitude going on in Africa. We can go with Shaka Zulu. We can go with different kingdoms that we can go with that it was servitude. Yes. And we even use in Americans, what's his name, Anthony Johnson. He made himself, and they came up with this word called indentured slave servitude. So we can go with this. I'm not in disagreement with the sister. We can go with this. But however, even if the African, which this is the truth, the African, which we all are Africans. I don't know if anyone want to look at themselves as such, but I look at myself as such. Yes, I am an African. The African did not know what, because they thought it was servitude, but they didn't know these other people is doing something different. But they prospered off of what they were doing. That's the case. They prospered. They were naive. They was naive. And they prospered off of their what's the word? Naivety or
which doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? To build on what you're saying, like the Queen, I forgot from what nation that was. I was talking about. She came out. I forgot where is that? She came out recently and apologized. She said we rich billionaires even till today from the slave trade. The Queen of, I think, was it Nairobi or something? I forgot what it was. But she came out and said it.
No, listen, Brother Lex, that's what I'm saying, right? Listen.
So hold on, when you ask about the case, right, this is how a case gets pushed together. It's not going to just be like one country at a time. When you put together crimes against humanity cases, right, they're all going to be listed on the same thing. They're all
that's what I'm just saying. Specify who's going to be listed. That's what I'm just trying to get some specification. We can't just say. Hold on.
Specify.
Hold on. Y'all both can't answer at the same time. And just let me finish what I'm saying. And I just wanted to lay out which tribes from which areas. Not just we can't just say Nigeria, Ghana, because we know. I just want. That's all. Because
I gave you a specific tribe, though, brother.
No, that's not how it goes, though, boy.
Hold on, no, listen, right? Because
I know what you're saying.
So you're saying that it's the government. So I'm just trying to get clear exactly.
It's the government, yeah. It's the current government. It's Nigerian government. It's not going to be like, oh, it was a specific tribe. And not, no, these governments of these countries are the ones who's accountable. Just like today, the German government is still paying Israel. They wasn't the government at the time. No, when the Holocaust took place. And there's other European countries that's still paying Israel till today. So the Nigeria, all those countries, it ain't really none of them that didn't really take part in it. So altogether, they're gonna have to come clean, all of them.
And we know this. This is why the white man has his control, because he's very well in his documentation. So he's very, very, very precise in his documentations. So all we got to do is just go into their documents. Mm-hmm. And if we go with them, if we go with our own people, it's not a matter of breaking them. What's the first case? You know, I'm listening. What was the first years that there was major African trading, like Africans, because I could see in the later, around the 1600s, right? I've seen some, matter of fact, 1700s, I've seen certain pieces of literature that spoke on certain tribes and things. That's when it took place. When the Moors got kicked out of Spain.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. And now, so if we say when the Moors, are we to say the Moors is Africans? Are we going to agree with that? Because I don't know.
Nah, y'all making it way too confusing, bro. I don't get what they was called over there on the west coast and north coast of Africa in 1612. You know, they were sending us to South America, and everyone knows millions of Africans that were sent to the America. That's the case, and we know it's documented. We have documentation of the
you got the
European
Dutch company, yes, the Dutch company who created the United States.
No, I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying. I'm not in agreement right now. We're going to sue the African nations first, but I'm willing to listen to everything that you got to say because I'm not saying that you wrong with your premise. I'm not saying that you're wrong because I can't.
I can understand why you're reluctant, but see, that's the reluctance, and that's what I'm saying. That's the emotional part.
No, that's not emotional. That's the reluctance of not knowing.
But it is emotional, bro. When I say
that's not knowing. If I don't understand how you put together why we're suing them first, then that's not understanding. That's not emotional. That's not understanding because I don't have enough information to agree with your premise.
Emotional is black people love Africa, especially African-centered people. So initially, whenever I say this to them, I'm saying the automatic reaction is like, dude, are you crazy? You see what I'm saying? Like, you talking about suing Africa?
You can't say that, bro, because I'm saying let's sue them, and I'm African.
You didn't do any of that. I just wanted to hear exactly. That's why I'm just asking questions. I'm just trying to listen to what you got to say because I'm not going to come at it like that. I really want to understand what you're saying, what the premise, and lay it out, because I'm thinking, I'm over here in America, and we're thinking about some class action suit against the city right now for some destruction that they're doing here. So when people talk about class action suit and the way that they're going to bring them about and things of that nature, especially dealing with our own enslavement, I'm all ears. I can't go right there.
Can I get the opportunity to lay it out though? Like I said, I won't be wrong.
I would, but I would like this because what I really was talking about when I was talking about slavery and prisoners of war was I was speaking more on a science of consciousness, on how we delineate this information to one another over here in the Americas in order to get our minds up out of a slave state.
I get what you're saying.
I'm with you on that.
Hold on, Brother Ahmed. I just want to ask y'all that, because that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was saying about changing the language to prisoner of war when we're dealing with each other, because a prisoner of war or a kidnapped victim is somebody who's looking to get free. But a slave has no reason to get free because this is your position and it's perpetual. This is where you have to be.
I agree. Now,
that's the question. And that's what I was really wanting to talk about. But the information which y'all talking about, I would like to have this discussion. And I wish that y'all would come back, maybe another Saturday or Thursday or something like that, and we can sit down and really have that discussion, because I don't mind having that and really listening to everything that you have to say. And if y'all got information to plug it to the chat room or whatever have you, just so I can soak up that information so I can see where you're coming from.
Okay. All right. Number one, this is something in which must take place. Number one, we must create our own community, even if it's just 100 acres. Like what Dr. York did. We must create our own community first before we even go at them with anything. Africa, Europeans, whoever. Even if these are winnable suits. But we must create our own communities to say, you know what, we have, because that's the whole case is we ain't prosperous because this is why we ain't prospering, because you did this to us. But look what we doing in our own situation, despite what you did to us.
Yeah, that doesn't matter in law, though, Armin. I know what you're saying, but you don't need to create your own community. If we could have nothing, it doesn't change.
Yo, I get you, though, but let me just lay it out, because, you know what I'm saying, this is the problem that I sort of have with the whole, not even conscious community, but, like, People ask questions, but they don't really want to hear what you got to say.
Finish laying it out, bro. Finish laying it out.
But we must have our own community first. So then when we go to the United Nations to say, all right, listen, because we want land. We don't want no, because what the fuck we want Uganda money for? We live in the United States. What the hell we want their money for? Their money is like a dollar, a penny on a dollar. What the hell we want their money for? We want land. But Uganda or whatever, I'm just using that place to say which they played a part in the slave trade. But Uganda, we just using that as a bargaining chip so we can go after the people who has all the money, who has the power. We're using it so we can actually get power. So, yes, me saying suing Africa, yes, we got to do this so we can create power.
How's that going to give you power, bro?
Hold on, listen, right, yo, brother.
No, that's that bullshit, bro.
Go ahead, hold on, listen, right, listen, because I can see where this conversation goes. So I'm gonna stop right for a second, and I'm gonna talk to the people who are on the line, because I don't mind having this conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's a Think Tank Thursday. It's an excellent conversation to have, but like I said, I had a topic already, so I'm gonna talk to my people who are all in the listening audience, my co-hosts.
Yo, what problem will we have right now? What problem do we have now?
Hold on. I just want to talk to my co-hosts real quick. Ask them if they want to move on with this conversation or stay on the topic that we're on. I don't mind either way. Just let me talk to my co-hosts. They out there. Sister Camille. Sister Camille out there. Brother Rahe Wu. Black Power. All right, Sister Camille, you hear the conversation that we having. The conversation is turning to whether or not we should sue Africa first in order for us to later be able to enact suit upon the European nations. That's the conversation that our brother Ahmed, and I believe that's our brother Lex, has brought to the table. I was initially speaking on slavery and being whether or not we should utilize that term over here in America when talking to each other or utilize the term prisoner of war. So, we have either conversation to have, and which one would you like to have?
I would like to have the latter. I do not participate in acts of self-hatred on that level. I will not even go there with the madness. So I would prefer, with your permission, King, to have the topic of discussion that you had prepared for tonight. Black Power.
I second that motion. I say, Black Power.
What you supposed to do for yourself?
Hold on for a second. Hold on, brother. Let me talk to my earlier. Hold on. Listen. Like I said, I was holding that discussion because it was somewhat connected to what I was speaking on, but it is a separate discussion. So I just wanted to talk to my co-host because, like I said, I had a topic already set up. So I just want to talk to my co-host before we go too long into this conversation and ask them whether they would like to go with it. Brother Rahe Wu.
Rahe Wu says I'm not an entertainer and I'm not here to entertain somebody's ignorance. I'm going to stick to the topic. I agree with the Queen and the family. Black Power.
Black Power.
Black Power.
Now remember what I told you earlier, Armin.
Now I would say this right here. I'm going to defer to what I told Brother Lex earlier. Brother Lex, I definitely I want to have this discussion with you. But because I have co-hosts on tonight and we had a topic, I already understood how people in my listening audience might take the topic and other people. So I would like to have this, but I would like to go ahead and stray off of this discussion and let's just get to the consciousness of the
I'm with that, bro.
And I would like to have this discussion on another day. Lex, I think that we friends on FB or something, but we could get together. And, when we see each other on
my page, bro.
We all connected with the Google thing. We can work it out, and we can figure out next Thursday or Saturday or something, and we can get in, and we can have this conversation. That's no problem.
All right, let's go with the word slave.
All right.
which the word slave comes from a Germanic word that serves as a European word.
We talking about just the consciousness, how it affects us.
Born, I got something to add to that.
All right.
Actually, prisoner of war would be the more correct term. Anyway, it is the actual term, because when you study slavery, and I always bring this up, the most important thing about it is the Barbary Wars. The Barbary Wars lasted well into the 1800s, and during that time, the Moors was controlling the sea. The Europeans could not just transport stuff back and forth like that.
Exactly.
So it's no way they was just going over there, just snatching slaves and coming back. So
that's a damn lie. That's exactly what the fuck they was doing. Are we gonna get to the topic of discussion, Brother Bone? Fuck this bullshit there. Revisionist history. We can go there. We can go there with your bullshit, and people can come. You can come with what you think is history, and other people can come with they think is history. On the day they want to say. But tonight ain't the night. Tonight ain't the night.
Hold on. Hold up, man. Hold up. Now, I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this right here, where we just going wild like that. Everybody, just please hold off for a second. We're not going to do that one.
I didn't even get to.
I think that Sister Camille might object to something that you're saying about the Barbary Wars. And we talking about the prisoner of war. I'm gonna listen to what you got to say. And Sister Camille, where you want to whatever he has that you think it might be off, you can go ahead and correct it. But just let him go ahead and finish what he finish. Finish it out. You want everybody? Brother
Bourne.
Yes, ma'am.
We can do this Saturday. Can we? I'm not. See,
this
the more you let,
prisoners of war.
The more you let. How can I say this and not be disrespectful?
It's getting real emotional, man. I'm
African. I'm supposed to be emotional. That's what that melanin represents. I don't want to have this discussion with these fools here tonight like this, King. We're going to deal with the topic. Anybody that's trying to let the cracker beats off on our enslavement, on our horrors, is out their motherfucking mind.
Boy, can I just finish and then
can he finish on Saturday? Can we have this discussion on Saturday?
To the topic,
no, I don't think he was talking. Hold on.
No, you didn't even.
Hold on. Listen, right now we talking about prisoners of war. Whether or not we should use that term, prisoner of war, or should we use the term slavery? Now, the conversation about whether or not we should sue is over. It's over. And I'm listening to what he was saying about the Barbary War. I'm hoping that he's not going into that. Going back into the suit or whatever have you. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But I know that there was fighting right there, and like I said, I just want to deal with how we over here in America are dealing with that. So you give me a little bit of historical background. I like to, if Lex, if you'll hold on one moment, I like to defer to the Queen for a second, and I'll let you come right back. I just want to ask her a question real fast, if she could. The point that the brother was making on the Barbary War and things, I just want to know exactly. I just wanted to get your perspective, Sister Camille, on what was being said.
What disturbed me was when he said it wasn't like the cracker beast was snatching Africans off the coast or the inland and taking them into slavery, and that's exactly what the fuck happened. That was a part of it too.
Yeah, I agree.
So to say that is blasphemous in my opinion. And it's just crazy. And all I hear, the underline that I hear is to take the cracker beast off the hook and bring that self-hatred back on you, your worst enemy type of shit. We the reason why we over here. We need to sue Africa. Not for the motherfuckers here. Nothing for the 300-400 years that you know for a fact it wasn't somebody from Nigeria putting a motherfucking whip to you. their Inquisition torture tactics that they had used on their own people on us here. Get the fuck out of here. For 300 years, your ass couldn't read and write. And then you used your ability under the Cracker Beast rule to read and write to come out with some shit like that? Get the fuck out of here.
Brother Vaughn, can I speak?
Hold on. Brother Lex.
Yo, you got to drop a bomb into that shit, dog.
Yo,
you got to get a bomb into that shit,
we got the whole Brother Solomon, the bomb got to be dropped after that. But listen, man, I got to agree with this, with the sister saying. You know, I got to agree with it because I listened to what Lex said. I didn't catch what she was saying. I listened to what Lex said, and what she just said, I'm like, all right, then. I understand where she's coming from. We're taking the cracker off the hook. Because that, we never want to take him off the hook. But I want to know what the conversation.
What I was going to say to give, how can someone come to a conclusion without listening and then seeing where I was going and just having an emotional reaction?
Everybody sounds
all right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to move on to the next. We're going to move on.
I can't finish what I was saying about that.
I'm dealing with what he actually said and not what he now going to tell me he was going to say. Okay, I'm dealing with what was said. You asked me what it was that bothered me, and I told you. And let me let you know this. I don't give a fuck how you feel about somebody being emotional. You can take that Cracker Beast logic and go back to the Cracker Beast with that bullshit anyhow, too. I'm going to define me. I'm going to be me how I want to be, whether you like it or not. You damn right. You damn right. And you don't get to decide what is possible and what is not.
Like, if he was wrong with his information,
that's the end of that conversation. Now we're moving on because I can see where it's going. And like I said, I don't want this conversation to go to this. I'd rather have this conversation on another day. I'd rather have this conversation on another day because I can see where it was going. And because I can see where it was going, because I can see where the energy was going. Like you said that earlier, right? Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Lex, just a little while ago, we already know how this topic going to be. I already knew how the topic going to be. So, because it's still aligned like that, I want to just move all the way away from it. So I think we'll start back to it. We're going to take it right back to 100 where we was at. We're going to take it right back there, and I'm not going to go back there.
We should consider ourselves as prisoners of war.
Regardless to if she assumed, if you feel like she assumed something, regardless, we just going to move on right now because it ain't going to do nothing but compound a fuckery type of situation.
Right. So let's go with what your topic was. Your topic was, should we consider ourselves slaves or prisoners of war? We should consider ourselves as POWs.
You trying to talk over me, man. You trying to talk over me. You can't talk over me. Now, like I said, we're going to move back to the topic. We're going to bring the energy down on this Think Tank Thursday. We're going to get back to redefining ourselves because that's what I want to deal with. We want to deal with 1960 to now with our mind state, things that we've been taught. I would say about 1945 when we start really getting integrated into other people's schools and things like that, 1950s, 1960s when we start really hanging around too much with white folk.
We need to go further back where the boys at Reconstruction.
You can't cut me off, man. How you going to cut me off, man? What's going on here? Now, I'm going to mute your mic. If I get cut off like that again, I'm going to mute your mic. Now, you want to deal with Bon, here we go. I don't know which mic that was. I guess you hung up. Well, that's a good thing. Hang up. That's better. We get back to the program. Now, as I said, we're whether or not we're dealing with. Huh?
Can I just, Brother Solomon? Can I say something real quick?
Oh, go ahead, Brother Solomon.
Yeah, who that was? That was Lex Vortex that was on here?
That was Lex and the boy Armin.
Okay, yeah. But yeah. Well, what the sister was saying was real. I mean, there's a lot of propaganda out there. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the slavery, and they try to make it like, well, yeah, the Africans sold the that was one aspect of slavery that did exist, but yeah, I understand.
But that conversation ended. This is a different conversation. I was talking about the Barbary War.
Hold on a second. I'm talking right now, bro. I'm just responding to what the sister said because I didn't hear what you said. And there was other aspects of the slavery too. You had people actually like bootlegging slaves. You know what I mean? Meaning that they established a certain, certain treaties was made against the European nations as to what areas that they would do their slave trade. But then you had people undercutting. That's why they had the different essential acts. And that's where you get the term dropping the ball from. Because if you was caught without proper paperwork in the waters, you will be taxed. Pertaining to each slave, number of slaves that you had, you would be taxed. So the people that were bootlegging slaves, they were, had the chain gang tied to a cannonball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they're so those people that was going in there, they was going in there just taking slaves. It wasn't no trade. They was taking any African to be seen. Because they wasn't even part of the treaties that was made between the European nations. They was going in there, ravishing villages, taking slaves. There was a lot of chaos going on at the time. And I don't know exactly what was said, but what the sister was saying was real. That's the actual fact.
Agree. I agree that was going on. Let's say, thank you for adding on real quick. So do mine. Get back to this conversation where where we want to deal with how we want to psychologically come up out of this, where the ill effects of racism, white supremacy do not affect us as hard as they do, where we tend to think that we can't come up out of this thing. So, Brother Baheru, what's your opinion on slavery and prisoners of war and how we define ourselves as a people?
And tie the two together in a way. Looking at what we've been through as a people, our slavery never ended. We're still going through it. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at how a prisoner of war is treated, you know what I'm saying, and the guidelines and the rules behind that doesn't apply to us. You can't even put them in the same bracket. You know what I'm saying?
So would you say that when we came here, we was already slaves?
Nah, we wasn't. That was something that was forced upon us, and the standing effects of that was something that took course over a period of time in order to put us in the condition that we in now, and it still hasn't ended for us even now today.
Yeah, I agree.
And we don't get the we have never gotten the royalties and the treatment that prisoners of war get. So I can't tie the two together.
You're right.
Yeah.
Come on now. Keep speaking.
Yeah.
It ain't just about a race. It's about, for me, all TIs, the real TIs aren't getting it. And a lot of the TIs are African American. Look at what just happened recently. There's a lot of them, and you're right. You're not getting, it's treated like a dog following around everywhere you go.
Now, who's talking right now? What's your name, sister?
No. Next. Well, now,
who was just talking?
Who else out there? Brother Little. I know Brother Little out there. Sister Camille out there.
Yeah, man. I'm at the slave, brother.
Oh, all right. No doubt.
Motherfuckers making me mad with that shit. Then they got fired fucking around with this.
All right. Sister Camille, and I do apologize, family, because I might ask the question two different kind of ways. Because even though I say prisoner of war, I'm also saying kidnapped victims at the same time. It was kidnapped and brought over here. And even though they seem like two different things, I'm just running them together, just for the purpose of the question. You know what I mean? So, Sister Camille, that's to you. How you feel that we just define ourselves over here as slaves, prisoners? And I should have put that to Brother Rahim, who I apologize. Slaves, prisoners of war, or kidnapped victims. Like, how should we define ourselves now? How should we talk to each other about this situation?
As of the 21st century, prisoners of war. What happened, I could say kidnapping and prisoners of war. I mean, in a way, they're not synonymous, but I feel that they're quite, there's a real similarity between the two in terms of how I define myself. But definitely today, a prisoner of war, if my ancestors back then didn't understand that was an act of war, we as their descendants still in this war have to realize that today. You know, they were kidnapped. Ain't nobody, come over here willingly.
Black Power. Who else out there? Brother Solomon.
Yeah.
How would you define us here in the wilderness of North America today?
Yeah, I would say that, we're really both, slaves and prisoners of war. When you read about, the slave patrols and the militia, because those are actually two different things. The slave patrols was like, each citizen, what I'm saying, or selected citizens, taking up arms to maintain the slavery institution. I mean, so that shows you that, or to prevent any rise of rebellion. And that was and many people are unaware of. This is why they was enforcing the Second Amendment so much. The right to bear arms for each citizen. You know what I'm saying? It's because of, to maintain the institution of slavery with slave patrols, and they also had a militia. The slave patrol was just for the, any civilian, that want to do a service, for their community. They will join the slave patrol, and the militia was actually the standing army. And the slave patrol will be like the first line of defense for any slave revolts. You know what I'm saying? That will occur. You know what I mean? So, based off of that, you would see that was like we was prisoners of war from that aspect. You know what I'm saying? When you have a people that's fighting back, you know what I'm saying, constantly, and you have, a lot of things that they try to oppress historically, but there were many slave revolts, you know what I'm saying, that occurred. So, this is like an ongoing war that was going on in the Americas and on the continent. You know what I'm saying? We know that, the Ashanti War, all those wars that was going on in the 19th century, was going on, over on the continent, as well as, wars going on in the Americas. So that was a ongoing war, with Africans against the European. That's just the cracker beast. So we would be prisoners of war on the continent because they took us out of our land. That was an act of war. Once they took us as slaves out of our indigenous land, that was an act of war.
Black Power.
Yeah, Brother Boy.
Black Power, y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh shit! I don't know what happened. I'm talking to you. I'm thinking. Oh, all right. I wanted to know, was there anybody else on the line who wanted to add on to the question about whether or not we were slaves, kidnapped victims, or prisoners of war, and how they felt like we should define ourselves right now? How and specifically how we should define ourselves when speaking to each other about what we're dealing with. I know I got. Is Lex, you still out there?
Yeah, I'm still here, bro. But honestly, man, it's a kind of a hostile, emotional environment. I'm just going to listen. But I will say one thing, in that if you're going to have a real conversation about anything, how can you really have a real conversation and come to solutions if you don't have contrast? Like, you can't gather together and with just people who have the same feelings about a thing you do and believe that you're going to come up with the right solution. It should be able to be, if it's solid, it should be able to stand up against something comes against it without people, becoming violent or emotional towards another opinion. So I've learned that about my people with me because of the way I am. So I just listen, bro.
Brother Lex, thank you for that. We got time for that conversation you want to have. I'll have that conversation.
Yeah, so I'm scared to talk, honestly. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, so
I'm in fear. I'm in fear.
You don't have to have no fear. No, listen, man, you don't have to have no fear. Like we don't been into different things. We don't argue with each other before. I've spoken to you in the past couple of weeks. We've seen to come to a certain type of term where we can deal with each other's information with no problem. We can conversate with each other, and I don't have no problem with that.
Right.
But
I just don't feel like
conversations will become needed. Now the conversation is about how do you think that we should define ourselves here, and I know you can answer on that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going when I was kind of talking about the Barbary Wars, which is very relevant.
I know. We ain't gonna go into that.
I'm not going back to that. But I was just saying that's because you said prisoner of war, of war. So that means there's a war. So the most, you know what I mean. So I can't really speak if I can't talk about the wars that took place. It's just,
you can't answer a question. See, that's that bullshit, Brother Bourne. And I want to say something too, Brother Bourne, for a second, please. Part itself. I listened to this conversation with him and that other brother while you was talking. And it's so funny. I love how people project, right? While you were talking, both of them brothers were loud, emotional, interrupting. Right. How many times did you have to interject? Now, when somebody else comes with that same energy, now they wrong. Now I'm scared to talk. No, it's only a good conversation when you get to run your diatribe. But when you get a contrasting opinion, it's wrong. It's a problem now.
No, it's really not a problem.
Well, I'm just giving my opinion here right now. I didn't interrupt you while you spoke, right? I'm being very calm. Please don't get emotional on me, brother. Don't get emotional.
All right.
All right, now, thank you very much.
Boy, what I mean by emotional.
So, I can't understand how somebody can't answer
go back and forth. We're not about to go back and forth. We're not about to go back and forth.
I just want to get clarity on what I was saying. How could you respond?
No, listen, hold on. No, see, then we not going to go back and forth. It happened already. It happened. It already happened.
Tell me, boy, could you tell me this in terms of your question? Give me the boundaries and God. How can I answer the question? That's what I'm saying.
No, see, listen, right? If you would have listen, right? Like brother, I believe that might have been Brother Soleimani, who just was speaking on the slave catchers and things of that nature, things that were going on right here. And I'm not telling you that you have to use whatever war, but there's wars going on. If I was to speak about the wars going on as we were prisoners of war, and we were speaking that we are prisoners of war today, right now, I would have not to use, I wouldn't have to go back 100 years. I can just go back to yesterday or the day before and just make the accounts of how many of us are being rapidly, not only, not the things that they show in the media where they show a few murders, but how we are on the scale of abortion, how we being slaughtered out. Educationally, we being slaughtered. Economically, we being slaughtered. Physically, we being slaughtered right today. Not, and so I can deal with those wars that are happening right now that would still bring us up under the context of prisoner of war, because there are things that are going on now that keeps us under that context of prisoner of war. So that's what I would use. So then, that's all. Black Power, I see a couple more lines out there. If anybody wanted to get in on whether or not, or how they would define us right now, or if not, matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add on to a point that Brother Heru made about what he said about us being enslaved, because one thing that he said about us being prisoners of war is that we're not, and that we're not receiving the benefits of being prisoners of war, and I agree with him on that. But what we have to do is to be defined. See, in order for us to be able to say, look, we were prisoners of war, first we got to get out of the shit. Figure out a way to get out of this shit. When we do that and try to get some reparations, all the reparations you're gonna get is you're gonna have to take their head off, because we're not the type that's prisoners that are going to be able to be let free and somehow deal with equality with the beast that we're dealing with. I don't see that at all. But I do think Brother Heru had a good point with that right there. I don't think saying that someone's a prisoner of war kind of does it justice. I mean, it's more of a Holocaust more than it is a prisoner of war. I think indicating that it's a prisoner of war indicates that. Johnson, how are we to define ourselves right now? Not what have we gone through. See, because regardless of like in the Holocaust, those were prisoners. They were prisoners there being put through a Holocaust. But they were prisoners. Right. And that's all I'm saying is, how do we define what we are, not what we're going through? So when we speak to one another, how are we to speak to one another as kidnapped? When we're speaking about how we got here, can we say that we got here as slaves? I can't see us coming here as slaves. I say that we got here as kidnappees or prisoners of war and prisoners of an unjust war. Now, who've gone through a Holocaust, yes. As prisoners of this unjust war and kidnapped victims, we have been placed through a Holocaust that is unmatched anywhere. I agree with you on that. That's what we're going through.
From that perspective, you're absolutely right. It is a prisoner of war. I mean, I guess I would add to that. Not only are you right that it is a prisoner of war type situation, but going back in time and understanding what their end goal was should let us know how to deal with one another now. Because if you have any group, and I don't necessarily subscribe to it being all one race that's doing this and that and the other, but when you find out who the real enemy is and how they play people against each other, then that makes you understand how you should deal with your brother when you look at who the real enemy is. And the real enemy isn't so easy to see, because a lot of our real enemy looks just like us, and I'll be the bad guy for that. It's true, but it is what it is, And these days, it's not so very hard to get someone to cooperate to do wrong things to people who look exactly like us.
Now our people suffer. Our people suffer from supreme bouts of crackatosis and niggeritis. Our post-traumatic slave disorder is something that is unmatched anywhere. We cannot call this Stockholm syndrome. It cannot be defined as Stockholm syndrome, since we have gone through this way before anybody else. Way before anybody else was going through this, we have been going through this. So we'll call this post-traumatic slave disorder, which causes crackatosis, severe bouts of niggeritis, where you will do any and everything in your power to destroy self in order for you to think that white heaven going to open up for you later on in your life. Right. Your skin might get white the next time around, in prayer and hope. But I understand where you're coming from, sister. Like when I look at our people, as manufactured niggas. And so when these manufactured niggas start to acting a fool, You know, I look at these niggas. Now, I agree. Now, some of these manufactured niggas they regenerating their own self and causing situations where they high up on the totem pole helping to keep us down. You know, we got certain type of niggas who doing certain things that we just not going to let keep around. But the majority of our people who fucking us over, they suffer from the same thing we suffer from. Crackatosis, all of us victims. All of us victims of this racism, white supremacy. So we're going to have to clear this up because no matter what, if we do not clear up racism, white supremacy, we still going to have some manufactured ones. Some manufactured niggas going around. Because racism and white supremacy manufacture that on a day-to-day basis. They're not going to stop with that. What was your name? What was your name, sister? I heard you chime in. What was your name?
Oh, my name is B.
Oh, V. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sister. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for chiming in. Definitely keep us on point. So let's see what else we got going on out there. We got New York out there. What's going on out there in New York? How y'all see this? How y'all see this thing with whether or not we? And hold on, I want to say this about why I don't want to define us as slaves. And that's because.
So, Brother Ball, what you basically saying is that we're prisoners of war that were enslaved.
Exactly. Yup. At the end, yeah, that's what they did. They enslaved us because now we see that and the reason why I don't want to use the language though that we enslaved right now, even though I know that's the point that we at, is because I know enslavement is perpetual. You create that for your own self. You see yourself there and you stay there because there's no place for a slave to go. He has no place but the slave lane. But a prisoner, a kidnapped victim, they trying to get free. They're going to be looking around like, hold up, I'm kidnapped. That means I don't belong here. I'm a prisoner. I mean, what's going on here? You start to look at what's going on when you define yourself by certain terms. So that's the reason why I don't really want to keep that definement going, even though I know we have been enslaved over time because they took the chains off. As long as they had no chains on, that means that they knew that we was prisoners because you keep chains on prisoners and kidnap victims because if not, they're going to run away. Nobody forgot. They're going to be out on you immediately. So now we're under a situation where instead of them, they put up parameters. We're still prisoners. They just put up parameters. Like they start doing, they start saying, well, look, hold up, you just can't go outside the gate. You just can't go outside the gun line. They give you the gun line. They go to the gun line, boss. And they show you the gun line, and that be the territory in your neighborhood. Whichever cross over to the next city limit, whatever have you, all right, I'm going to go north because if I go south, that city is going to be full of crackers, and if you go across that city line, you're going to get pulled over. I know that's like that in Philly. I know in Philly, that, look, if I go out there, I know 9 times out of 10 the police, they out there looking to try to pull me over. But as long as I stay inside this area right here, police ain't really bothering with me right around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember I was selling candy. And, back in the day, you get more money when you go into the white neighborhood. So it was like I was going to door to door in a white neighborhood. And you see, like, at the beginning of a block I was walking, there was this lady looking out the window. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, as I was walking down, you seen, like, other people starting to look out their window. Like she was calling motherfuckers or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was this nigga walking down the block. So, like, you started to see, like, other people looking out the window, like, I'm like, damn, that shit was crazy because it's like they all had each other's number. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I was somebody that they kind of viewed as being suspicious, you know what I mean?
Because you was a slave out your district. You was a prisoner out your district. You're a Negro out your district, man. Hold up, man. I see them roaming. They roaming around here. They crossed the line. He's roaming out here, man. Get them back across the line, man. See, because they figured that you was a slave. And slaves stay over there. Slaves stay where they supposed to stay at. You don't come across the line. You got somebody out here who, you rebellious. You rebellious, and you out here trying to be in our neighborhood, you rebellious.
Yeah, that's crazy, guy. That damn sure was uncomfortable. I would say that. Whatever they were thinking, I was like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, yeah, by the mere fact that you see, like, you know, for example, what took, you know, the change that form of slavery, chattel slavery, to end was war. You know what I'm saying? Even when you had gone with the Revolutionary War, when they was fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? The British, you know, knew that it was slaves that were still struggling to be free. You know what I'm saying? So they would say that we would give you freedom if you fought on our side for the Independence War. I mean, against the colonies. And there was a great majority of the slaves, you know, a great number of slaves that did fight on the side of to help the British, you know what I'm saying, just to get their freedom, you know what I mean? So all this is predicated around warfare. So to say that, you know what I mean, that means that we're prisoners of war here. And they knew that. They knew that. That's why they would give them that offer in the first place. Ain't no way if somebody was, like, cool with what was going on, that they would, you know what I'm saying, take that deal. So, you know, yeah, it's prisoners of war, man. I mean, that was an act of war, like I said earlier. That was an act of war. You don't just go into somebody's house and take their family members, and that's an act of war. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, right from then, it was wars going on to the early 20th century in Africa. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? With the Europeans. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, this is a ongoing war. I mean, look at Africa today. Look at Africa today. You will see that it's an ongoing war. You know what I'm saying? Ongoing conflict. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't end yet.
Well, forget America been at war for 220 plus years.
And you know, like, you know, for what's going on in South Africa, you know what I'm saying? On the coast and all the way to the hell of North America. You know what I'm saying? Where they shooting down the kids out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? It's an ongoing war. Massive incarceration. You know what I'm saying? Because really, they upset that chattel slavery ended. That's the real shit. You know what I'm saying? They upset because of chattel slavery has ended. So they kind of hold on to, they tell you to forget about that fucking past, but they still remember that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, yeah, I'd say prisoners of war. Definitely prisoners of war in this motherfucker. Ain't no bones about that. You know what I mean? So, you know, that is, but I'm just saying, see, that changes the whole paradigm when you think along those lines. Because now you can't say this whole thing with, we got to come together and all that bullshit. Because that means that they're your enemy. And I like that term because it's like, that. Okay, if we saying we prisoners of war, who we fighting?
Yeah. Now we got to start defining who we fight. Exactly. It pushes you, it pushes your mind state, it pushes your consciousness to have to zero in on who's doing what to who.
Right.
Who's
so
doing this?
And who are we fighting? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, who are we fighting, man?
Because you know what I mean, you got people that, you know, try to overlook this whole thing, like, you know what I mean, you know, like shit ain't been went down in these fucking hills in North America for damn near 400 years with this beast. We try to act like everything is cool now. You know what I mean? And you know, I mean, within the scope of things, like for example, Jews helped finance and participated in the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't hear Jews saying, "Oh yeah, we the Jews are the ones behind the Holocaust. When really, in all actuality, they was.
They was.
With the finance and hitting the power. You don't hear Jews saying that, though. But you always got some fucking nigga. Some fucking clown-ass nigga. Oh, yeah, we enslaved each other. Who sold the slaves to them? You know what I'm saying? You always got some nigga saying some dumb shit like that.
We're going to leave that for a slaughterhouse, man. We're going to take that for a slaughterhouse Saturday or something. I'm going to call the brother up, man. I'm going to call the brother Ahmed now and ask him if he want to lay that down and see if we can have a discussion about that, me and him. Then, you know, you let people ask questions to both of us.
I wasn't attacking nobody because I didn't hear him say that. I didn't hear him say that, so I don't know. I don't think I'm attacking him, but I'm just talking.
I'm not saying that though. But I'm saying that it fall in line. It fall in line. It's fall in line with, you know, because we have to. I don't want to, you know, like I said, man. Listen, right? We prisoners of war. What was they bringing in? It was bringing in guns, man. They weren't coming in with barrels of honey. They didn't come with barrels of honey out of Europe. You understand? They didn't come with wine. They didn't come with silver, gold, diamonds. They didn't come with that. They didn't come with any of those things that would warrant that they were doing trade with somebody. You understand? You know, the warrant that they were buying something from somebody. They came with guns, plenty heaters. That's what they came with. So when you come with plenty heaters, it don't seem like you doing no trading. If I come with all heat, no money, then you know what time it is when you see me, man. Me and my crew. You got, we don't. We got heat, you don't got heat. There ain't too much talking we doing right here. We taking some shit over here. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't see negotiation being too fair when, you know, you got heat and I ain't got none. Negotiations just don't seem too fair in these certain situations. So that's how it's hard for me to look at that we were slaves or that people were trading slaves. Everybody was prisoners. A war. And the definition of slave is a definition that keeps us bound. I'd say that it keeps us bound because what happened is that they legalized slavery. Slavery was legal. And you can't skirt around that. That the Papal Bull, 1432, I believe, Pope Nicholas VI, laid it out that we could be enslaved. And they already had a Papal Bull before that in 1406 that was already laying the foundation for this. And so when they legalized it, there's no recourse. There's no recourse. There's no recourse. How you going to say to what? Once we made it illegal, we stopped doing it. It was legal. We didn't come in and do nothing before it was legal. Now, once it was legal, though, look, we got busy. But after it was illegal, we quit. We outlawed it first. And now we still defining ourselves by legal terms. So how can you get a justice under these terms? You ain't even going to look for justice under these terms. And we tell you, what you talking about reparations for what? Slavery. What do you mean? How can you get reparations for that? We didn't enslave you. They didn't enslave the Chinese. What did they do to the Chinese? They held the Chinese prisoners. They interred them in camps. Those Chinese got paid back for them. They interred them jokers in camps. And held them jokers prisoner. And Chinese said, y'all held us prisoner. What are you talking about? You held us prisoner, man, over here. So I'm saying that we got to start talking about being prisoners and understand that where that's going to lead us in the context of anything and everything that we do. And say even if we have family that want to go into the legal situation, want to deal with this in the legal realm, want to go to court about this, then we got to start redefining what happened. We got to hold up, man. Look, no, this is kidnapping. It was a war going on. We became prisoners. Then they kidnapped us and brought us the hell over here. What the hell are you talking about? No, that's what happened. That's what happened. However it went. Whoever the war was being fought with, however it goes. Because if we start to saying, look, we're going to say that, I ain't going to get into that. I'm not going to even say it. But, as I said, if we want to lay this out on a legal timeline and look at it from when the time that they start doing it, it was all okay. And they're not going to come up off that. You're like, man, no, this shit was legal. What are you talking about? Ain't no court nowhere going, it ain't going to happen. You say crime against humanity, you try to pull that. Yeah, crime against humanity. All right. For what they did, for the beatings, for the hangings and stuff like that, but not for the slavery. See, a crime against humanity is just the mannerism that you treated somebody. Now, it ain't going to be for that slavery. It ain't going to be because you hung people. You know what I mean? You lynched them. We can see crimes against humanity going against all different types of people who were never in the situation that we was in. That's why you can't bring slaves. That's why you can't say that. You can't even bring it to the table. Say, look, it was slavery. Y'all did stuff. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And we can get these white people who want to do crime against humanity. We can get them for how they lynched us and we got all the information. We can just go look into their medical books and see what they did to us. But with that being said, the lines is open. Let me see what my chat room talking about in here. The chat room quiet. I'd like to say Black Power. Thanks to everybody that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. It's Think Tank Thursday. It's Feet on the Ground Radio. I'm your brother Born. The lines are open for this conversation. Don't let me hog the mic. I will, though. Where Brother Core's at? We were speaking on this earlier. And did y'all get a chance to hear the young brother from Valposta University? Oh, y'all don't chime in at once. Now, who got to hear the brother from VSU, the young brother with the beard? I sent the YouTube clip out.
Did you post it in Hangouts?
I might have. With the young brother with the beard?
Yes, I heard that, Brother Born. It's Baker.
Oh, it's Brother Baker? How's it going, Brother Baker? You heard the young brother? What do you think about that young brother?
I thought he was on point. He was definitely on point. That American flag ain't don't represent a damn thing about us. And then on top of that, they tried to arrest that brother saying he left a gun in a bag somewhere after he stood there and stepped on that flag and walked on that flag, you understand, and talked about how it doesn't represent us as the black people, as far as laws and things is concerned. And then the white girl came and grabbed the flag, and the whole nine got into a fight with them about the flag. And now they're trying to arrest this brother, calling him armed and dangerous.
Yeah, I seen that. We was going over a little bit of that earlier, and I just wanted to, ask them have they seen this video from the young brother who was, like you said, he had to lay the flag out, kicking Bibles up and down the walkway, things of that nature. Yeah, been labeled a terrorist, and he said that already. He said it on the video that, look, man, I'm going to be labeled a terrorist. And I am a terrorist because I'm for the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm going to be labeled that and I already know what time it is. So now, you know, as a Brother Baker was saying, the brother on the lamb right now, the spirit that he has is the spirit of that's the spirit of the move. I had a video. I don't know if I shared it to family. I have a video, though, some young sisters, 2 young sisters sitting at a table rapping with each other, like at the same time, like they rapping together and then rapping back and forth, but they talking about the situation that we're dealing with, about what time it is and what we're going to have to do, and we're going to have to pull ourselves together, and we're going to have to protect ourselves and take what we're going to have to, what we need, which is our freedom. We're going to have to take it. It is not going to be something given to us or laid out, because the babies can see it. I'm saying these young girls are probably like 15, like 14, 15 at the table with a vicious rap. I'm gonna find it. I'll find it and now I'll put it in there for family. Let me find this thing. But it was wonderful, man. But yeah, who else out there? Who else out there, brother? Who else out there, brother? Hey, will you see the video? I know, of course, seen it.
I got it when you sent it earlier, but I didn't get to finish watching the whole thing. I had something going on at the time when you had sent it.
All right. No doubt, no doubt.
Brother Bowman, you get a chance, can you post it in Hangouts?
Oh, okay.
That's where it's at, Queen.
I'm in there right now, too. So where's that?
Nah, I think I might have posted it.
I'll put it back in there.
They took and they railroading the brother right now, straight railroading him.
That ain't nothing new for the Cracker Beast.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, sorry.
Who's that? Somebody got something playing in the background. I can hear you. I can hear something going on in your background. Yeah, somebody got something playing. What I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna mute all the lines real fast because I'm gonna play something real fast, and then I'll open your lines back up. All right. I'm gonna let me give it to the young queens. The young queens from let me see, check their high school. I gotta log back in real fast.
Hey, somebody in the library, B.
Man, that's my dumb dog, man. That's my dog, man. She ain't going to town, son.
Over there dreaming about milk bones and kibbles and fits, huh?
Yo, I heard her. I said, man, I don't know if they can hear her or not. But yeah, that's the
That's all good. Queen Kabia, I just put it in there. You should be able to pull it up. I do take that back. I thought that it was that one that he put it in. He had sent it to us personally, individually. I correct self on that.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to mute y'all mic real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in.
Righteous.
You
Black power, black power. I hope y'all heard that. I don't know if y'all did. I hope y'all heard that.
Black power. Black power.
Black power. You heard them young. Yo, them some youngins too. Them some youngins.
So how are you as an adult gonna be on that? Oh, we ain't gonna never make it. We all got to get along. The cracker beast didn't sell you in slavery. It was your own people. When the babies see clearly who the enemy is, even if we have to acknowledge that we have our own people who will do us in too, but the reality is that we are under a cracker beast racist system. Yep. Even with coons, the coons ain't in charge of this anti-African system.
Yeah. The babies know the only reason them niggas acting wild is because they up under this mess. They can't. They know. Them little girls got suspended for that. The young ladies got suspended. They from Milwaukee. They got suspended for making that video right there. I don't know how you get suspended from school. I guess because they was cussing in school or something in front of no what. I don't know how that happens, but they got suspended for that.
But yet they have movies, propaganda movies pushed on them using all kind of curse words, right?
Mm-hmm. They'll play them right in school. They'll play it in school.
In school. The same school that will teach these African children to worship murderers, like George Cracker Beast, last name they call Washington, that murderous Cracker Beast Christopher Columbus, the rapist, pedophile, all of them, Thomas Jefferson, down the line. They can worship that, but they can't speak the truth about what this racist society is doing to them today. Murdering babies. Why you murdered them, then got the nerve to put handcuffs on them. While he dead in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And she can't speak on that, though.
Mm-mm. She got to be quiet. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Mm-hmm. Yo, I seen that. Gotta find a way to. I'm gonna save that. I'm about to send that to Brother Little. I'm gonna put that video on the it's on my page though. I'm gonna share it again right now. It's on my page. But the little sisters got it there and made me proud. Because the youth know, they know the truth. They know the truth. If everybody else scared to say it, don't worry. Because you ain't got to worry. Yeah, look, you can be scared if you want to. And the baby's going to do what you're scared to do. They're not even scared. They're going to do what you can't do. Because you ain't broke them bombs. And they ain't put them ones on themselves. They didn't let them mental chains get on them that we got. They would not to get them chains.
Yeah, yo, Brother B. Send me that video, brother. You feel me? I'll chop it up.
Yeah. No, I just saved it.
I just sent it to him too. That's funny.
All right. Yeah, so that's a point of emphasis and a point for us as Africans that, even when we see the times looking dark, the baby see the light and know that, look, man, we're not going to take this. We're not going to stay down. There's more of us than it is of you. We're not going to keep up with this. It ain't going to work. We don't want it to work.
All right, Mr. Staggs.
And when you got young sisters like that, see, them sisters going to have babies, right?
So we're going to be in sync tomorrow?
Yeah.
12 to 9?
Yeah.
Oh, man, hold on, man.
Tomorrow night after work.
Oh, really? What goes up there, bro?
That's where I'm from.
Oh, you from Santa Barbara? Right on.
Oh,
so you're a Cali boy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a Valley boy.
Bro.
Yeah.
All right, we got the Brother Letter for a second. What was going on there? Thank you. I don't know what's going on. Somebody in the chat room putting this on some articles. I don't know exactly what they are. But back to whether or not we should, I think that right now, I think the consensus is in that we should define ourselves as prisoners of war for going through a Holocaust. Either being kidnapped first, then, kidnapped under the auspice of war, becoming prisoners through that situation, and then moving through the Holocaust that continues right now and being enslaved through that Holocaust. This is, where now we tend to look at ourselves as the oppressor. The oppressed is looking at themselves as the oppressors, And I think that we should not take that stance, that we have to change our vocabulary in order to change our consciousness. Because one thing that does change consciousness is that which you speak out of your mouth. There's a thing that if you speak a thing that could be real, then it could come true. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be dealing with it in the proper mannerism. But if you speak it, then it got a chance for it to become a reality. So we have to always be mindful of the words that we use when they come up out of our mouth. Be responsible for them. So make sure that you put out a good word. What else we got going on today? I'm gonna talk to our brothers, see if we can get the brothers in on. We're gonna get the brother in this Saturday. I asked family if they want to add on anything on the context of what we're dealing with, but I think that we had most of the people would agree that that we're prisoners up under unjust war, and like we waking up, we coming up out of slavery. Now we're seeing that we prisoners. But we were prisoners that were enslaved at a point in time. Now they got to keep them boundaries on us, man. They got to keep that whip on us now. We ain't complacent no more. This ain't your grandmama's movement here. It's a new thing coming. So with that being said, if anybody has anything to add on, please feel free. The mic is open.
Peace, Solomon. I agree with that term. It's because like we was mentioning earlier, it kind of brings a responsibility that you're at war, and then defining your enemy, exactly who's that enemy. You know what I mean? So definitely the term also brings back things that happened to us historically. You know what I'm saying? Of how we got over here in the first place. All the things that took place. That would be the only thing that would be logical and would make sense. Because we as a people, are in a state of confusion. And white supremacy runs by keeping the masses in a state of confusion. And we are confused about what we're going to call ourselves. We are confused about what we're going to practice as far as culturally, what God we're going to believe in. We're confused about a whole lot of things. You know what I'm saying? That's because we have not been told our history properly. We allowed our oppressors to dictate to us a certain timeline of events, and try to suggest that what happened to us is a thing of the past, and that it's over now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like they conditioned the slave. You know what I'm saying? And when I say slaves, I'm talking about the mentally slave. You know what I mean? To actually acquiesce to his dominance. You know what I'm saying? He created a system where he is like we have been mind controlled into thinking that he's supposed to be in charge. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Oh,
we've been told our history. We've been told our history properly.
Dude.
What was that?
No, upon itself, that was background noise. The brother, I thought the brother mic was off, and I had to mute it. The music come in with background noise.
Oh yeah. So since we've been told our history, sort of a false history of what actually occurred. You know what I mean? Because growing up in school, they tell you that we had y'all slaves, and those were the bad people. They never tell you who those people were. The slave masters, what they call them, the slave masters. You know what I mean? They never really tell you who the people were. They say, oh yeah, we enslaved you, but the Emancipation Proclamation freed you, and they ended slavery, and there were certain things that happened which led to the Civil Rights Movement, and then after the Civil Rights Movement, everything is all peaches and cream, and that's the equality for everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is the history that they try to tell you. Okay, we still have some problems that exist, but it definitely wasn't like how it used to be. They try to make it like we're making progress type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So we look at it from like, okay, we're prisoners of war, then that would mean that this is an ongoing war, that this war still exists, and that, that would shift the mentality of the people. Because it's like, on some real shit, like, they still know it's a war. The enemy still know it's a war. You know what I'm saying? When you read about, for example, the kid that was shot 16 times in Chicago, right? They asked the police officer, like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Because remember, look, this is after Trayvon Martin. This is after Mike Brown. So if the white cop, you know what I'm saying, had any form of fucking morality, right? When he's engaging a young African-American male, first the thing I would think about, but I'm not a cracker, so I don't know what's going on in the head, but it's like, yo, let me handle this situation very carefully, because I don't want to end up like the motherfucker that shot Mike Brown or that bastard that shot Trayvon Martin. I don't want to be on the news like that. So then when I engage the situation, let me be careful, you know what I'm saying, and really analyze the situation and try to have the best outcome. No, it gets worse. It gets worse. They shot this young man 16 times. And they asked the police officer, like, what the fuck? Like, damn, you shot him so many times. He said that he felt threatened, that he was afraid for his life. So you can only be afraid for your life when you approaching an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you're afraid for your life. You're not approaching a fucking, because if that's not your enemy, then you're approaching a kid and shit, a little boy and shit. You know what I'm saying? But if that's your enemy, then that's a whole different story. You're ready to shoot the gun 16 times if you're approaching your enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, not only that it was more than one officer, but they had guns. And to a person that was unarmed, how the fuck you felt threatened? That's the same thing with Mike Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin. How the hell you felt threatened when you got a gun on you? I don't understand that shit.
Sure.
Because there's somebody without a gun and you the one that got the gun and you afraid for your life. What the hell? Like, I don't know, dog. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and I don't claim to be no gangster. Even when I wasn't conscious, I wasn't the gangster type. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I know if I had a gun on me, that I would not be threatened by a person that don't have a gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. That's real.
So it's like, that's because their mentality views you as the enemy. So if they view you as the enemy to the point where they're shooting you down, then this still is a war. You know what I'm saying? We just approached the war, you know what I'm saying? No, one, we're ignorant of the war. be ignorant of the war. Because remember, most wars end off a war of attrition. The Civil War ended based off a war of attrition. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that, you know, they take the resources from you, so you won't be able to feed the troops, so the troops won't be able to be sufficient fighters, right? So the economic oppression is the act of war. You know what I'm saying? Miseducation is the act of war. You know what I mean? To make you think that your enemy, to get your enemy to think that they are actually helping you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right about that. That's one of the things that we do get it twisted with, is that we so busy looking at our enemy as our helper, and that it's hard for you to shake the shake off the prisoner and shake off that mind state when your mind is up under this fuckery. When your mind is filled with this, quote unquote Stockholm syndrome. With this post-traumatic stress disorder, when you feel the crackatosis, and you can't make out that the fact that your brothers and sisters don't have to give to you is only a context that's created by racism and white supremacy. We don't see that it's set up, that we don't have to give to you, or we find that it's not beneficial to ourselves to give to you. Because this is the mannerism that, the society has made. It's a selfish, individualistic society. So people don't find it helpful to help other people, because you might get in my, because the thought is you might get in my way. You might take what I got. You might take my stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they do. All
right, so you take that mentality away. You know what I'm saying? That thought away of, because going into the Black Power movement, right? They knew that who the enemy was. They knew that this was warfare. They was grabbing, when the black people woke up, think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about, that whole we are the world shit. I'm talking about when they really woke up, when they started killing. Think about that shit. When they was marching peacefully and doing all those things, right? What they started doing? They started assassinating the leaders. So they know it's warfare. You know what I'm saying? They are gunning down motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? When they seen you come together as a people, even when you was marching peacefully, what they do? They sent out armed men with guns and shit. Trained motherfuckers that know how to shoot them motherfuckers. So that's an army. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to know the history. You know what I'm saying? The police department, it's just an ongoing tradition of the slave patrols and the militia that was designed to maintain the order and prevent slave rebellion. The institution of the police departments, when you look up the history of the police departments and when they began, is in or around the emancipation of slaves. Like when you look at, just look it up. All the history of all the police departments all across the country is in or around the emancipation of slaves. So when I say in or around, is within that 50-year, 50-year circle. You know what I'm saying? From the early 1800s to around 1865, because we know that there were a lot of slaves beginning to escape at an alarming rate during those time periods leading up to the war. You know what I'm saying? Because they would get asylum within, the northern states based off the fact that they had beef. So these is when the police departments began to spring up. So the police departments were specifically designed, to maintain order. They were just becoming more organized. And we know this for a fact because, they had basic police departments established. But then all of a sudden, now you got, and fast forward to the 1960s, the Black Panthers, they coming up with shotguns. They come out with shotguns. You know what I'm saying? They getting into what? Shootouts with the police officers. It's warfare. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, they look at this and say, well, goddamn, these niggas are shooting back. So look up the history of the SWAT team. You will see that they created a more sophisticated form of police officers and policing as a direct result of the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? So when you make it's like a game of chess. Okay, they got guns now, so we got to get better guns. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is warfare, man. And you see a current, but see now we have some type of psychosis where we forgot about all that shit. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is just a thing of the past, and you know, shit that is glossed over when we talk about history in America. You know what I mean? They preventing you from knowing your recent history. You know, much less, you know, what happened in the ancient past. Your recent history, they don't even tell you about. You got a stolen legacy of the 1960s. That legacy was stolen from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you ask a kid out here about, you know what I mean, the Black Panthers, and you may get one of them to say Huey Newton. You may get one of them. Because we know that's this for a fact, because they wearing T-shirts with crackers on there. You know what I mean? Calling them mobsters and gangsters and shit, and Al Capone and all them motherfuckers. When they don't know you got the most gangsterous motherfuckers in all America and shit that were black men. Because you got some full crackers. That goes to show you that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They don't know shit about their history.
Yeah, that's the main thing. And not even forget, but just brainwashed out of it. You know what I mean? Told that their history is not worth knowing, and the only history that you got is Cotton Patch anyway. All you got is Cotton Patch history. When you go back, they only show you Cotton Patch, and they show you a Negro spiritual singing. You know what I mean? They show you some We Are the World, holding hands, Kumbaya. And we're using
they
Cotton Patch.
Trained the black mind. They trained the black mind into thinking that we can't fight this cracker back.
Exactly.
With that Martin Luther King shit. You know what I'm saying?
Martin Luther King said they're about to be getting killed. They're about to be dripping blood than the enemies.
Right. That's you know, they commemorate the nonviolent movement now. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, even though they met that with aggression, they commemorate that and they keep that as a legacy, because that's just telling the youth, look, this is what your forefathers did. So be like your forefathers.
Yeah, do it like they say do it. That's why our children starting with the rallying and marching first, because they been taught so long that this is how they do it. They haven't had nobody to get in there. We haven't had a constant flow of knowing how to agitate, come up with better ways to be able to get what we need to have, and think on a more strategic, militarized type of mannerism about what's going on in our situation. So the youth start off with the same things that the other people started off with. All right, we're going to rally. We're going to march. But we're dealing with people who are not going to stay. They're not going to stay within the parameters, but for so long.
Right.
So we got to be prepared, because they're already changing the slogans. The words that they're using are changing. They're saying, fight back. That's the chant. Fight back. Like I still sent Brother Little a clip, or I said it. You might, if you look into your text, you might see it. There's a clip of out here at Baltimore where the people trying to run up inside the Baltimore precinct, where they had to barricade the whole block off. So people couldn't get into because people were trying to run into the police station. Because of the black man Freddie Gray was murdered there, spine crushed, ribs broken, just mashed all the way up. He mashed him all the way up. You know what I'm saying? And from that, though, with that happening, though, it sparked a lot of energy. The spirit of Ferguson is down there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that's going on. See, people don't know that them kids from Ferguson, the youth from Ferguson, I ain't going to say kids, but the youth from Ferguson, you know what I'm saying? They have been going almost all over the country, anywhere that something happened. They find out about it. They've been going. And they've been talking to them people. They've been connecting. So it's networking going on. You understand? It's networking. So our family going to be good. They're going to be real good in this future. The youth, they're not waiting for nobody to pass the baton. They're going to snatch it and run with it. They ain't asking for no permission to stand up for their goddamn self. So I said, be before Holy, put all your energy you can behind them. Tell them they can do it. Tell them we can win. Never tell them that we can't. Always keep them up and keep them moving forward. But with that being said, anybody else want to add on anything? Oh, shit. Yeah, I muted everybody's line, my bad. Yeah, that was an accident. That was totally an accident. But is there anybody else want to add on anything? All right, go on.
Mine hit it right home.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a part of history that we have to delve into. It's going to take you back to that Ma'afa period to see how all of these things to see the formation of these things that the brother spoke on. And he also made me start thinking about one of the things that the Black Panthers did was challenge the fact, are we citizens or not? By going out in the street with those guns to end the continuation of the brutality that we have endured since we became prisoners of war from 1440 to the present time. Them crackers, and now in the police uniform, what they call the police uniforms, was killing our people. And these brothers and sisters got together with their guns to say that this shit was going to stop. You kill us, we going to kill you. And that brought forth gun control laws, only in areas where we have high populations.
Mm-hmm.
Only in these, what they call urban areas. These urban areas of like Chicago, New York, where
places where
New York City.
Gun crime.
Right, exactly. Where the Black Panthers also had a stronghold. So you see the formation. If gun control laws are so important, why is it not federal? Why is it not that every 50 state have to adhere to the same laws? So the brother brings another interesting thing to this equation. You can see how they want to also make sure where we have large numbers, we cannot get access to weaponry for protection against the continual genocide that these cracker beasts have released upon us.
Yeah, this ongoing game of chess. Now, once they get for example, right? Frances Cress Welsing always reiterate this. She called it, they call it the Obama factor, right? When Obama was put into office, gun sales went up with the cracker. Gun sales. What the fuck are you buying guns for? Because the president got elected. You know what I'm saying? Gun sales goes up, right? But so gun sales goes up with the cracker. Then they turn around and have all these programs going into the inner city collecting our guns. Think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whereas though they had these programs like, yeah, you turn your gun in, you won't ask no questions, we'll give you $300.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got all these people turning in guns to get a little bit of money.
Yeah, a little certificate or something. Yeah, they give you $250. Here they was giving out like $250 like gift cards or some American Express like gift cards or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Dumbest thing in the world, man. But one of the things that I seen with the white people, they was doing it. The white people was turning in old guns that didn't work, going to buy new ones.
Right.
They using it for a whole another turnaround. And black people just turning in all their heat. and got all the preachers and pastors championing that. That was one of the things that the preachers and pastors helped push right there, real hard. Pastor Pigfoot was hard on that.
Yes. So they know. I mean, they know the value of keeping a gun. You know what I'm saying? Even this poor cracker, he fight for that Second Amendment right. You know what I'm saying? And they defend that shit. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, like when they see like on TV, like Mike Zimmerman, they are proud of a motherfucker like that. That's why they gave him all that fucking money. That's why they supported him. Because Zimmerman makes them feel safe, man. You know what I'm saying? When they talk about all that shit, like with the police department, that's why they defend them, man. Like when they do shit like gun down our kids, man. Because that makes them okay doing their job. They go and label our children as thugs and gangsters and all this type of shit. Just to let the masses know, look, we killing the motherfuckers we supposed to kill. And they, in return, give them financial support. You know what I mean? But see, these are the same motherfuckers smiling in your face, man. Because ultimately, they know that it's a problem when you're unified. And then they take, like, your morality and use it against you and shit. And look, I didn't do nothing. Oh, okay. They'll say some shit like, okay, the motherfucker they shot. Oh, he's an evil motherfucker. That's not all white people, though. See, they get us with all that bullshit, man. But who is the motherfucker that's giving him money and shit? You know what I'm saying? What system got that motherfucker off? These motherfuckers are not arrested, mind you. Us law-abiding citizens and shit. You know what I mean? A motherfucker that go by every iota of the law and shit. They are scot-free. These motherfuckers have not been charged and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and shit. So that does away with your belief in the system. Now what? See, this is what the Negro leaders ain't telling your ass. You know what I'm saying? They just overlook it now. We just not. See, we are an abused people, man. This is why we be acting the way we acting, man. Because that's a sense of hopelessness. You know what I mean? When you got a system, you know what I'm saying, that's been designed in this fashion. So you know, ultimately, the key, man, these motherfuckers, man. That shit is fucking ridiculous, man. And this shit's still going on. Like, they not letting up. It's just still motherfuckers getting shot by these damn cops, man. You know what I mean? That shit is real, dog. You know what I mean? We sit up here like, man, that shit is some bullshit, man. That's some bullshit. These motherfuckers get off. They like home, like with their family and shit. That's some crazy shit. And you do a fucking minor drug offense, you can't even get a fucking job no more. Not only that you're arrested and prosecuted, your ass can't even get a fucking employment no more. You like the evilest motherfucker on the planet.
Yo, Black Power, brother. See, what about that one peck of wood that just went to the Bahamas?
Yeah,
the one that thought he had the taser, right? This motherfucker blast on my man. Now this cracker in motherfucking the Bahamas, dog.
That's some bullshit, man. That's some bullshit, man.
Let me say this
and
shit
that
again.
shit was real.
The cracker is in the fucking Bahamas, dog.
Yeah, that's wild, dog. Real shit.
The Bahamas, dog?
Fucking insane. But, yo.
Somebody better take his head off, dog.
He wasn't even a cop. He was a play cop.
Motherfucking volunteer.
They let him ride.
George Zimmerman.
They let him ride along.
And these niggas gonna come up here and gonna try to tell. Then niggas lucky I was at work, dog. Motherfucker, what the fuck do you ain't gonna do? What's all the suing gonna do, my nigga? What the fuck is all the suing gonna do, my nigga?
Right.
You playing by this cracker rule book and you think you got something, nigga? You some fucking fool, dog. You some fool. And for in-house family business, don't worry, dog. We got hands for that. We got hands for that, nigga. Punk ass nigga gonna run to the white man, go tell it. Hey, them niggas, man, fuck that. All them niggas gonna catch bodies. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Black power.
Faggot ass niggas gonna come up here talking about sue the Africans and when niggas shut your ass up. Fuck wrong with you?
No, listen, buddy.
My motherfucker, what the fuck gonna happen when you? What the hell you think gonna do? What's gonna happen, nigga? Ain't no war now, dog. Oh, you do that, you ain't gonna have to kick no ass now.
Don't listen. That's why you gotta hear it all the way out, because it's good. Yeah, I want to hear it all. I want to hear all of it, all the way, because it's going to be hilarious. Because
that shit ain't gonna laugh and matter to me, brother.
Yeah,
that shit drive my nigga blood pressure up, my nigga. God damn, that shit kills.
Listen, man, our people sick, man. Our people sick. They sick, man. They've been in all these little things, man. They think the law work. They sick, brother. Little. They sick. Don't let them Africans get you that heated. I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, WA, brother.
At first, I wanted to go there. But I realized that I know that they would try to play that card. They would try to play the card within. I want to hear, because I really want to hear what you're saying, because I know that this is some ridiculous mess. Because I ain't trying to sue no white people out for nothing. Ain't no suit we gonna make against them. But I want to see what you're saying. Because if you want to go about it suing, I want to see what you're talking about. We're going to sue us first. Now, we're going to sue us first? All right. How are we going to do that? Who we going to sue? When? For what? Going to be the charges? I need to know all of this.
That's like going to the local bully at the high school, and all the kids that got his ass whooped by the bully, they going to sue the goddamn principal.
Okay.
Is that going to stop you from getting your ass whooped?
No, listen, man. I'm saying, man.
Fix that ass whooping, ain't that? That's what's gonna happen. A real bully.
How are you gonna bypass? I'm saying, look, man. Look. Hold on. I want to have this conversation on this, because I want this for Sword House Saturday. We can talk about this on the after hour.
Oh yeah.
On the after party. I will put this in the after party. We can talk in the after party, because I don't really want, we don't want to go. We don't want to go into.
No.
We don't want to let them attack. I want to hear it, because I'm definitely going to bring them on so family can hear this. Because this is a tool. This is something that's going in the community. This is something that's going on in the community. And you got to juxtapose it properly. Or our people will hear it and it sounds good to them when you don't know what's going on. So you got to juxtapose it properly so they can hear it properly. Because if not, they'll run with this.
Brother Bourne, I think what Brother Solomon had brought out and what Brother Little just add on is the problem that I'm having and even wanting to engage in such a dialogue. When we are continually to be murdered in the streets, as both of these brothers brought out, the cracker beasts coming out of the formation of keeping us enslaved when we were escaping, setting up militias and all that bullshit, to hunt us down, all that shit, and that hunting and murdering of us is still occurring, and that is not an issue for you. For that not to be an issue for you, you ain't talking about that, killing no cracker beasts. You want to bring me back to self-hatred. I just can't handle any more conversations by Africans who can only see what Africans have done wrong, while we are under oppression by non-Africans. Right now, being murdered in the street, right now, women, children, men, right now, prison system, right now. Our children being taken away on bullshit, foster kid to be shipped out to cracker beast homosexuals and pedophiles right now. But you want to tell me to have a problem with my people, and not denying that there were some Africans involved, and I know we're going to say this for Saturday, not denying that. But the institution The reason for Africans being involved, those that were because of the cracker beast. And we ain't talking about, you ain't got no dialogue on that. On some payback or something, or neutralization, nothing on that, though. I can't do the self-hatred shit no more.
They want to wait. They got to wait for that. You know, you just got to wait till after you sue the Africans, and then you get some precedents to sue the white man. Need precedents.
Look, where the goddamn Arab at, nigga? Goddamn!
Yo, look.
Any way you look at it.
It's all over the place. It's all over the place. All over the place. Because once you start with suing, I'm going to sue the Africans for slavery, we already done messed up. Because, you know, like I said, it ain't even the context. That shit was legal. Like, you know, I'm listening to what you're saying. I know you don't know what you're talking about. You're a victim like me, so you're talking like a victim. You're a worse wrong victim than me, because I'm not going to think no mess like this that you're coming with. Are you talking this? I know you're smarter than that. Maybe not. We're going to sue Ghana, Nigeria. We're going to sue all. That's not going. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen, nor is it going to work. Not as long as you're getting your ass kicked here. How can you? Man, that's running. We at the fire.
That shit's crazy, Brother B.
We at the fire. Hold on. Let me end this, man. We at the fire right now, though. That's running to the smoke. We at the fire. We in the fire now. We gonna run over there first. But look, family. We gonna at the least, and we don't discuss this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put in the traders when the traders start working. And we know it was some initial traders, then it was later traders. And when I say traders, I don't mean doing trade. I mean traitors with a T, not a D. And just put in some information on how some of these things was going on. But I got some files. And the files don't got too many African tribes all up and down really having no supreme power. You got a few that got it in. But that's
Commander B. Commander. But
don't we talk about the goddamn trader, though? Huh? I mean, goddamn, we just say they woke up yesterday, nigga.
Yeah.
Damn, we know. You know my black ass, I'm the main one on them motherfuckers, dog. You feel me?
You know, if you want to isolate, that's what I'm saying. You can't use isolate incident and try to make that's the precedent. And then say we're going to go sue them because, come on, man, you know, it don't work for me. It don't work for me at all. It don't work. But I've heard this argument more than one time.
Yeah, it got to be from a religion of perversion, motherfuckers.
So I said, what the hell? I'm like that. This more than one time I heard this argument, man. So now for y'all brothers, and I thought y'all was some smarter brothers. I thought y'all was a little smarter than that. And y'all
that's what Amos Wilson said. That's why I fucks with Amos Wilson, man. I recommend everybody on the damn line, go do your Amos Wilson research, man.
Black power.
Well,
that's another self-hatred angle as far as I'm concerned. You know, you couldn't win with the religions of perversion. Y'all tried hard. Didn't work. And in your initial argument with the religions of perversion, I heard that bullshit a little bit. Well, Africans sold Africans. Now you're coming hard with it. You're coming hard.
Well, we're gonna
no focus on the cracker, though. No focus on the goddamn cracker.
I'm going to tell you why I'm set tripping, too, man. Ain't this a funny timing? It's coming around the nigga goddamn argument. Then the nigga gonna come with this shit. God damn, dog. You know what, man? My goddamn blood pressure gone, dog.
Self-hatred makes it easy for you to go sue Africans. Make it hard for you to sue the cracker beast.
And with that being said, we like to hold on. Let me see. We're gonna end up on a high note. down on a high note, because I think they didn't hear this. I think they didn't hear it, so we're going to end out with it. Beautiful, yeah.
I'm going to ask you all to stand. Put your black towel and fists in the air. Any of you want the lyrics to the song or want the song, or you have a CD back there, if you want the song in particular, I will give it to you. Because as the brother said, it's something that we should have at our event, to open up each event. Like how it sounds? Oh, and you
Like power, beauty 48 mile, hoop chat, praise that turn, glory to God, be long, let the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad catch us out on Slaughterhouse Saturday, 9:30 on the east side, 6:30 on the west side, the best side. You know how we do. We just like at you. Thank everybody for coming in.
Crockett in the truck.
House nigga too.
Global African supremacy.